Good morning, Big Brother fans. It is Friday, July 17th. Normally, we would be right in the meat of Big Brother. I mean, this would be the prime feed times. We maybe had lost one or two people by this point. It's kind of this is usually when things are like really good. Like mid to late July and very early August is when it's really, really good live feed watching, good action, and right now we have nothing. The latest information I have is no change from the last time I talked to you guys. I've not heard any additional information. Did have someone yesterday. There's people that are now driving by the Big Brother house, and the studio where it's recorded at is right up against, I think it's one of the rivers in Los Angeles, but in Los Angeles, rivers are concrete waterways at this point. I don't know if it's the LA River that it's up next to. Someone will probably tell me, but whatever it's up against, the opposite side of that is public property of some kind or a street, and so people keep going by there and looking at the back side of the Big Brother house and taking pictures or videos and giving us updates. But really, all you can see, of course, is the side of a building with doors that may be open or people milling about. But the point is, there is activity in those buildings, which leads all of us to assume that there is still stuff going on. They are preparing the house for Big Brother. Actually, it's been really quiet this week, and I'm going to take that as no news is good news. I think we're right on the edge of where people that are going to be on the show either have gone to get ready to get sequestered for, a period of time, or they're about to, and they've kind of quieted down. But there certainly has been very little chatter on social media that I've seen. Now, the thing is, I don't follow many Big Brother people, so I can't tell you for sure what everybody's saying or not saying because I don't follow them. I just don't. But just my overall sense, based on the people I do follow and reactions, is that things seem really quiet. But I'm taking that as a good sign. I'm not taking it as a negative, that means there's nothing going on. I'm just taking it as a, you know what, things are starting to coalesce. So that's what's up with Big Brother. Just kind of a wait and see what's going to happen. And I don't know. I'll let you know. Watch, something will develop tonight. Usually things don't happen on Fridays, though. So if we're going to get any news, I would expect to hear it like on a Monday or a Tuesday or a Wednesday. So I'd anticipate a quiet weekend. And I'm every time I say something like that, it's like, okay, the opposite's going to happen, which would be fine if we get some news. But for right now, no, don't think so. That's what I got. Trust me, if I get more news or information, I will happily share it with you. But as of now, the last information I have is that the house guests are supposed to enter the house on August 5th. So we're looking at roughly 3 weeks away, I think. We've seen people showing that there's activity at the Big Brother house. We've had few house guests, former house guests, say that they will not be on, and people are doubting that even as a possibility, that they've kind of said they're not, but they really are going to be. I'm not sure. I'm not following, again, people to know how active they are. But what we have heard, Dan and Derek and Danielle Reyes from Big Brother 3 have all said that they will not be on this season. I've not had any people that were applying tell me that they've been reached out to since March. So that to me implies that they're not continuing in the normal casting process, which makes sense if it is like we suspect. So that wraps it up in a nutshell. I've given you about 5 minutes of me saying nothing new if you listen all the time, but there are always going to be people that tune in for the first time, so welcome to my CarCast. And hopefully I'll have more information for you next week. else? So, now that we've established that there's nothing really going on with Big Brother, what else is there to do? Well, you can always watch Big Brother Australia, the current season, which is, I think, are we 17 episodes in? And there's only 20. So there's only 3 episodes left. There's 17 episodes. I do not spoil Big Brother Australia. It is currently, this season, it is in the USA format, close to it at least. It's where people get nominated, and it's a house vote, not a fan vote, which is what it usually has been up until now. The U.S. version was the first one to go against the grain as far as a public vote. So it's not live. It was all recorded earlier this year. If you're interested and you haven't started watching it yet, just tweet at me and say, heard on, say something like you mentioned on the CarCast so we can watch Big Brother Australia. Tell me how. Just tweet at me. And I will definitely give you a link. If it's someone who's taken the time and listened to this, then sure. If it's a random person, I'll get a bit annoyed. But if you've listened to this and you don't know how, it's in my timeline, but it's now been buried. It's far enough back that I wouldn't expect someone to go digging for it. I'm just assuming at this point anybody who hasn't watched it yet or started to watch it wasn't interested, but it's a good watch. So it'll give you, each episode is usually like an hour, 15 minutes or so. So you got at least, 20 hours of content that you can watch if you're looking for something to fill some of your time. And I do have former people that I have played Sequester with that are currently watching Big Brother Australia 2012, which was season 9. I got a couple of them turned on to it, and they're going back and going to start watching that. So there's always that as an option too, and that link is on my BigBrotherGossip.com page in the second most recent article. The most recent article has to do with Sequester. The second most has to do with what to watch now that Big Brother Canada is no longer on. Speaking of Sequester, there is another All-Star mini tonight. An All-Star will be, people that have all played before and are considered, All-Stars. And that will kick off at 8 o'clock tonight. Then tomorrow there should be a regular standard mini, again at 8 o'clock. There was there's a lot of there's at least 4 minis every week at this point. A couple of them are, there's 2 standard ones that you have to be a patron to be able to play, and then other ones that are private that people actually pay to play. I don't know what else is coming up. I haven't looked at the calendar or looked at the announcements, but there's probably one Sunday or Monday, or Sunday and Monday. But the standard ones are 8 o'clock on Friday and Saturday. So be aware, check it out. There is also private minis, as I said. There's a Facebook group for Sequester where people will announce these private minis and how to apply for them. There's usually a Google Doc that you fill out a form. Different minis have different criteria and how to apply for it, and then they select people to play, and then they all ante up money, $25 usually to play. So you're looking at, if you get 20 people playing, that's $500 that is going to Sequester Access to cover their costs. They're paying, they're working. It's a job for them at this point, or at least for Audrey. And that's how they're now covering some of these costs out and above and beyond the patron minis that they do. So, what minis are coming up? There's a couple. Well, there's a lot. There's a lot that are culturally themed or regionally themed. I think I saw a Latin themed one that's coming up. I know I've seen. I can't remember what some of the other ones. Well, I know that there's one that's put out an application that's friends based. People like are going to apparently be like in character from the TV series Friends. And another one which I'm applying for, which I think I've announced it, but I've applied for, is the Hunger Games mini. I have applied for that. I have tweeted out the links to it. And part of the process is you actually get, it's a drawing. They call it a reaping, but it's a lottery. So, well, unlike the actual Hunger Games, people want to win this lottery. I don't think in Hunger Games most people wanted to get their name pulled out of a hat. But in this case, people have applied, and there will be a, quote, reaping, where people draw, where your names are drawn, and to get an increased number of entries, you have to do certain things, or you can do certain things to increase the number of entries. So it's an interesting little theme and process, and they're going to have mentors and all kinds. It's interesting how detailed it is. It'll be even more interesting to see it in play and in action. If it can be worked out, it'll be fun. And that's coming up. I think the deadline on that is July 23rd. I think is the end deadline to apply. So about a week left to apply for that, and then they're actually going to have the actual name drawing on Podquester. So, all right, more than some of you may want to know about, but hey, as I said, we don't have a Big Brother to talk about, so this has been my go-to during the pandemic, as it were. Hope you guys have a great weekend. I doubt you'll hear from me on here until next week at some point, and just stay safe. And I'll even just say it: wear a mask. Just wear a mask when you are close to other people. It's smart at this point. We should do it. We're probably all going to get this coronavirus at some point, or there's going to be a vaccine. That's the two ways things are going to go. You're either going to get it, or you're going to get the vaccine. Your choice. I opt for the vaccine. If possible, I would rather get the vaccine, so I'm going to keep myself as safe as possible until that point. And part of that safety is wearing a mask to protect others more than myself, but also to protect myself a little bit. There's my words of wisdom, things that every one of you have heard a billion different times from a billion different other people, but it is legit. All right, enough preaching, Mike. Yes, I'll shut up now. Good, thank you. You guys have a wonderful, as I said, weekend, and I will talk to you all next week. All right, see you later. Bye-bye.